How's it going, guys? I wanted to come in and talk a little bit about dreaming, right? I need you to dream big so you can set up a roadmap to your 10x vision, right? And I want you guys to capture about how do you design these dreams? How do you come to it? And I'm going to break that down here in a little bit, okay? So I wanted to start with a quote that is super valuable to me, which is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So these plans, these dreams, these aspirations that God has for you are already set. They're already coming, but you got to have this vision. You got to have this plan. And as service members, it's very important that we think about this because a lot of you guys go about your entire career planning and executing phenomenal missions, thinking about the logistics, thinking about the comp plan, thinking about how to properly allocate assets, but you don't do that in your life. You wake up, you just hope that it works out. You plan and wish that it happens. So think about it. You're not giving the proper care to your life and to your family that you're giving into your military career. And that's hurting only you guys, right? That is not giving the proper love to your family, right? So the 10x vision, right? I really want to dive into a 10x vision is that most of us are setting our objectives as too small. And I know aim small, miss small. I'll tie it here in a second. But you got to have a desired outcome that is massive, like that dream life. Where will your kids go to school to? What will your houses look like? What will you do? What are your hobbies? What nonprofits will you support? Right? So you got to have a huge vision, right? You got to think way bigger than your current reality, right? And if your goals don't scare you a little, they're just not big enough. They're just not big enough, right? So the larger vision helps you stay focused and resilient, even when it gets hard. So this is why if your dreams are really big, the current problems are very easy to overcome. It's very easy to skip over it and be like, I got things to do. I got places to be. Oh, I don't have enough money. Yeah, I have the vision. I'm going to go make it. Oh, I'm hurt. Doesn't matter. I'm going to get there. Right? So I want to think about this, the big dreams as actionable steps and logical framework, right? How do you get there? How do you get there, right? What skills do you have today? What skills can you get today? What do you need to improve on in order to get to that dream? But if you don't have a dream, you won't address it, right? If you want to be X thing in the military, what skills do you need to gather today? How do you need to grow and develop, right? So if you want to be an incredible father, are you already an incredible father? Are you developing the skills for communication, understanding, and parenthood? How to challenge yourself? Because this is the part of it. You tell your kids they can do whatever they want, but here you are living an average life. Why not set that example? What skills do you need to develop? And what resources are within reach for you to capture them and then in order to use that to propel you for a higher level of success? Okay. But you got to have a dream and a vision to drive you and give you the proper direction. Right. So this is also part of like what you do for the honor of your family, for your community and your legacy, for those that you love. Right. You already been doing this for the service, being in the military. I understand that a lot of us don't do it for the well-being of our nation. Some of us do it for duty, but at the end of the day, whether you are or aren't, your task here is for the well-being of the nation. Right? So how do you now start asking for more out of life, demanding more out of life so you can have it? Because at the end of the day, you have not because you asked not. Think about it. Why would you have more if you're not asking for it? And the things that you're asking for, you're not even concise with it. You don't even know what you want. So you got to know what you want in order to be able to put a request, a proper request. So think about that. The request to the world is just like a request for support. It has to be accurate, concise, and clearly determined, right? So wouldn't having a big wild dream be cool and exciting that where you could travel, what you could do with your kids? Imagine a future so bright that you could say, no way you can do that. And then proving people wrong. A lot of people are going to tell you you can't do that. And then you will prove people wrong, right? You got to have that vision, right? So break that dream into milestones, right? You got to identify the task so you can start coming up with a free time and start getting rid of all the things that drag you down. And I'm not suggesting you to cut all the other things in your life, but there's things that you could probably cut out that are going to have a bigger impact on your family and you. What do you need to read? Is your fitness important? And your fitness should be important for your health. But that also ties into your mental health and your spiritual health and your emotional health. A lot of people ignore emotional health and they're going around living that yo-yo of a life. And I encourage you to find faith and purpose. I don't care which religion, but you gotta have faith and purpose. And that purpose oftentimes is in the work, in giving value. You gotta find your purpose in order to put out and help give value to people, right? Because if you are able to achieve your vision, your dream, how many people you gotta uplift to get there? Nobody's made it big by screwing people over, right? Nobody's gotten big by screwing people over. So you got to care. You got to be supportive and be able to inspire people, right? And it's not even about reaching a destination. It's just about how much you grow, how big your objectives are, right? And that way you got to stay grateful throughout every stage, about every challenge, every limitation, every problem. And if you're grateful, you end up looking for the things to be grateful for. I'm on this one right now that is like, when I go running, it's super cold. And I'm like, okay, my hands are cold. And then I start thinking, well, I'm really glad I have hands that can be cold. I'm grateful for that. And you start creating more gratitude, creating more joy. And I'll tell you right now, if you think that emotions are not and feelings are not important, then you're missing out. I am telling you, there is tried and true facts about how it's important. And if you want to learn how to harness those and understand those, reach out to me and I'll help you out. So with that, I want to share a story of like an incredible dream, right? So if you, and I always saw myself as being able to, there was duty stations I wanted. And I always said, I want that. And I kept thinking about it. And I was able to achieve them. Right. And even then, I've noticed now, and there's plenty of literature tied to this, that the more that you think about the dreams that you have, the more they become real. So like whether you want to donate, I met some people that have been able to donate incredible amounts of money towards people, right? They've been able to support a lot of causes and to create and to create value that they never thought it was real. And that's just because they put it on paper and they thought about it. They put it on paper and they thought about it. And then they started creating the habits to get there, right? So I want to give you guys how to back plan for this. The first thing that you need to do is sit there with you. Hopefully, if you have a partner, with your partner, and write out what life do you want? What houses do you want to, where do you want to live? What do you want to be able to do? Do you want to travel? What clothes do you want to wear? Who do you want to hang out with? Who do you want your friends to be? And then from there, start back planning. What activities would you do? How much money would I need? What activities would I need to get to that? Do I need a business? Is this job going to get me there? And then all of a sudden, with that N10X vision, with that dream, you're going to realize that things become pretty clear and your actions become pretty simple. There's actions that you must take to achieve something. This is what we call the one mind, one focus. So now see it this way. If you want to live a long life, do you need to drink? Should you drink a lot? Probably not, because it's going to cut your life. If you want to live a long life, should you work out? Totally. So then you start being able to make decisions based on your end goal, on that big dream, the desired objective. So guys, I want to leave you guys with that. Start dreaming big. Send me out a message if you have any questions how to do this. And I want to be able to encourage you to do this and build this wealth. We're here to support you guys. This is the Financial Enabler. Let's go.